This is a demo of the Players tab, which covers all the advanced options in the top line of the tool. Make sure to watch the demo on each tab for an explanation of the content on that tab. You select your sport here, the site you're playing on. You select your slate. This profile is essentially a snapshot of the tool. This is super helpful for people that come back to the tool throughout the day. Let's say you're in the morning, you're locking and excluding some players, you know you don't want them. You add some settings like adding some projection models, a team stack. Maybe you generate some lineups, which is impossible with those players. So let me update that. I'll reset my locks and I'll run it again. So you create some lineups and you want to come back to them. Click that plus sign and you can save this as cache AM. And what this does is creates a snapshot of the tool. So all these settings here, all your lineups will be saved and you can come back to them later in the day. You could create multiple profiles and you can also go back to the default, which is where you started with no updates. So super helpful, saves a ton of time. The advanced options, this is where you show and hide those. And the help button helps you through some common issues. And this new tool, it really resets the entire tool. It's a last resort if there's a data bug or something. Often on phones, caching can be an issue, so you may have to use that nuke button. So let's go through the advanced. The projections line, this is the projection source for the entire tool. If you add your own projection set, it will display in this dropdown, and this is the date and time it's been updated. You can easily upload your own projections. You can copy and paste directly from Excel. So just make sure to watch this demos button and it'll fill this all in for you, help you understand all the functionality, save that new projection set that will display in that projection line, everything you need to know. These are projection models for our pitchers and hitters. You can swap back and forth with this toggle. You can select one or more, and this essentially weights this element up or down based on the player's matchup. If at any point you want definitions, turn on this tips icon and hover over, and it'll tell you exactly what we're doing here. The next section is filters, which allows you to filter the players table based on these elements. So if you want team run total, a certain amount or lower, salary, projection, points per 1K, floor, ceiling, consistency. You want to see players that are only home or only away or both. You can do that here. You can filter by batting order, and you can click in a box at any time and enter your element or the number you want, or you can just use these arrows and go up and down. We have WOBA, ISO, and precipitation for the game. Some of the options that dictate your lineups, we exclude hitters versus pitchers by default. You can turn that off if you wanted. Max players on the same team that will display in your lineups. This could allow some diversity. Exposure, once you turn on, we have the most advanced exposure in the industry. If I were to put in 50% here for Carlos Martinez, what that would do is tell the optimizer that the optimizer can add this player in up to 50% of the time. It could be 0, it could be 25, it could be 50. It's up to the optimizer to make the optimal lineup. If you wanted to lock this player in at a certain percentage, you would click lock and select 50, and now that player will be in 50% of your lineups. And in this case, since we're building 10, Carlos Martinez would be in 5 of those lineups. And you'll see him in there, locked here, and you'll see his exposure here. So back to the Players tab. If you turn global exposure on, this sets global exposure for all player, and for multi-lineups, this is really important. It gives you a high amount of diversity in lineups. And then if you want to turn our color badges on and off, we have 3 shades of green, 3 shades of yellow, and 3 shades of red to show you our top picks. The highest being the dark green, which is this color, and the lowest being the light red. All right, we have player pools built in now. So pitchers and hitter player pools. So if you want hitters that are big, boom or bust, home run type hitters, you can filter your pool by that. All around hitters, lefty, righty splits, hitter parks, value, strikeout kings, and so forth. So these are a lot of fun, help you narrow down your player pool quickly. We have the best stacking functionality in the industry. Look it up. Okay, what we can do is we can give you any team stacks with your lineup. So this would be an optimal lineup with optimal stacks. You could select the number of team, the name of the team you want. You could select multiple teams. You can delete and add stacks. So if I did any team stack, 5 players, and I did 4 players and lowest batting order 4, consecutive order. You can also set that at yes. So I'm going to get 4 players in the top 5 batting back to back in that lineup. And then this is essentially number of stacks is the exposure on your stack. So if I'm doing 5 lineups, I've got 50% exposure on this stack. You could also run a contrarian stack. If you did a lowest batting order 2 and you had 4 players, that would add in players in lineup order 8, 9, 1, and 2. You can add a player stack to that, which is based around a player's name. So if you know you like one guy and you really want him in there, you can build stacks around that one player and let the optimizer select the other players for you. You can build those stacks, those player stacks from the table as well. So down below you'll see on the hitters, you'll see a stack icon, and what that does is create a player stack right here for you to easily update, and then it also duplicates it up here, so you can manage it in both places. If you have a save stack from the stack generator, which is a lot of fun, it'll populate here. You click this button and the name will populate there, and you can add in a save stack to be in your lineups as well. We'll cover that in the tools demo. This is a bulk update section, and what you can do is search for a player. You can enter in a few letters and it'll give you all players that have matched that search. You can just enter in multiple players if you like, and you can lock them all at once, exclude them all. You can update their projection or subtract their projection. You can adjust their exposure, and then you can set the number of lineups and generate optimal lineups from any tab. You can also search for an entire team. So if you want the entire offensive team, let me search for a team that's actually playing. The Yankees, see it says offense. When I click that, it'll add all the offensive players. So if you really like their matchup for some reason, you want to increase them all by 15, you can do that, and it's done. You can reset here the different elements, and I'm going to reset this bulk update to clear that. Down below we have player toggles for the position, and you can search for any player on any tab. So even though I'm on the second baseman tab, I'm going to search for Holiday, which is an outfielder. Once I click his name, it sends me that tab, and I can find that player quickly. You can click in to clear the search, or click that X. If there's more than one page of players, you'll see a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and so forth, and that just sends you to the next page. So down below, you can sort each column. We have name, lock, excludes, bulk updates, stacks. We also have position, which this is our color badge. This is essentially our rating on the player. Order, and if you see an orange dot, that's projected order, and if you see a green dot, that's confirmed. And we confirm lineups really early, so 3 to 4 hours beforehand, come back, check the site. As you're going to learn on the games demo, check the games demo, a games tab, and that's where all our lineups are displayed as well. We have the hand of the player, salary, exposure, points per 1K, CV, which is cafe value. So this is our own formula for value. It's a little bit more sophisticated than points per 1K. Projection, which you can edit manually as well. If you hover over it, you'll see a green box means you've increased the projection, and a red box means you've decreased, and we give you that amount, and everything automatically shifts to account for that projection change. We've got the games tab where we give you teams, weather, money line, run total, park factor, our own team theory column based on how that game's going to flow. Pitcher, the hand he's going against, Wobo versus hand, all these critical stats you need in the players tab, consistency, ceiling, and floor. And once again, you can generate lineups from any tab. This concludes our players tab demo.